Ready? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mr. Turner.
Commissioner Meeks.
Present.
Commissioner Eichmeyer.
Here.
Commissioner Dahlgren. Commissioner Zimmerman.
Here.
I need minutes of meeting held on February 20th, 2023. I need approval of those. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, Mr. Turner.
Commissioner Meeks.
Yes.
Commissioner Eichmeyer.
Yes.
Commissioner Dahlgren absent. Commissioner Zimmerman.
Yes.
All right, visitors. Is Mr. Walden here?
All right, Mr. Walden just called. He is unable to attend today, but I'm going to step in place of him temporarily. This is for the Kiwanis. The Kiwanis are wanting to hold two shows down at the south end, like in the industrial portion of town as you come across a bridge. April 22nd, two shows for a circus. The times would be 2 p.m., 4:30 p.m. Kiwanis would help coordinate everything. It wouldn't be an added really cost to the city outside of water hookup. Other than that, he actually has filled out the paperwork for a special events license. And Kiwanis is insured, so unless there's any objection, we'll go ahead and schedule them for the event on the south end.
Any questions?
Not question, just comment. I know we talked about getting someone to help with traffic that day on the highway.
Yeah, and that's something the marshal will get with Mike on it too, though. Doing that worst case scenario was
Or I'm sure Wingman would be more than willing.
more than happy to do something.
Mr. Dolger's joining.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Hey, Justin, just joining in the meeting.
I'm here.
All right.
I'll put it down there so I can pick it up.
And so unless there's any objections, that's what the plan is. I'll get with the water department to hook up the water, get with Mr. McWilliams, and I'll take care of Republic trash. So,
Sounds awesome. Looking forward to it. Any other visitors this evening? Hearing none. All right, we'll move on to reports. Welcome this afternoon. The city of Mount Carmel was awarded $40,000 grant for the investigation of lead service lines. This will start this summer, and we will have an employee going door to door asking about the water lines coming into your home and the materials that they're made of. We appreciate everyone's cooperation on this state-required project. More will come sooner when the surveys will be conducted, and we will ensure that our vehicle and employee is properly equipped, so you know that it's a city of Mount Carmel employee doing the survey. This is something that we are required to do from IEPA, and hopefully we can get it done for the $40,000. So the big question is, if you have lead service lines going into your home, who pays for it? The homeowner is responsible for the water line from our meter into your house and the existing water service inside your home. The city of Mount Carmel is applying for a grant to help residents that are in need if they do have lead service lines going into their home. This isn't a guarantee right now. We're applying for it, and hopefully in August timeframe, we will know if we've received the grant or not. The amount of the grant that we're applying for is $400,000, which there again would be a nice thing to have for people in low-income areas that do have lead service lines going into their house. Next, we're looking for concession and lifeguards for the pool this summer. We've actually been handing out a lot of applications, have some returning lifeguards and some returning concession people, but we do need more. So if you would be interested in a position with the City of Mount Carmel Pool, we would like to start filling these positions by mid-April, And if you're interested in being a lifeguard, the sooner the better on applying, so we can get the lifeguard certification class set up with the Evansville YMCA. The city of Mount Carmel is paying for the cost of certification for lifeguards, and so hopefully that will encourage more to apply. The city of Mount Carmel's Parks Department is also looking for someone to clean the park's restroom on a daily basis. So if you're interested in that, please submit an application up here at City Hall, and also you can look at the requirements for daily cleaning. I do stress that if you're interested, the requirements are for daily cleaning. If not, since it's in the city park, we get phone calls if they're not cleaned daily. And for those running for city council, the inauguration will be on May 1st here at City Hall at 4 p.m. That's the end of my report. Commissioner Meeks.
Thank you, Mayor. Last 2 weeks, City Street Department had a large hole there at the intersection of Oak and Poplar. I think it's on the list to get blacktopped all the way down to 9th Street this year, hopefully. We've had some problems with concrete and the asphalt not matching up, so we fixed a big pothole there, removed old water intake, installed a new one at the intersection of North Drive and Janeway, cleaned the drainage ditch down at Lincoln Park. We've had problems for a long time with water standing in that street. So we cleaned the ditch out, and we're also filling some low spots in Lincoln Park. We don't have any standing water in the middle of the park. Sprayed some weed killer around several city-owned properties. Picked up brush after the couple storms, high winds we've had. And that's the end of my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner Meeks. Commissioner Eichmann.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Past 2 weeks, general funds had a little over $144,000 in receipts, $113,742 in expenses. That brings us a little above our budgeted revenues. Now, there are some items in there that were not budgeted in, some grant revenue, insurance proceeds, et cetera. But overall, we're just $3,006,000 in the general fund balances today. And also throw a note, because we have a resolution on some road maintenance coming up. Motor fuel tax fund has $839,219 in it. End of my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Eichmeyer. Commissioner Dogger.
Thank you, Mayor. Sewer Department had a couple main things here. Primary sludge pipe was installed down at the aeration basin to bypass the anaerobic digester while they were fixing the floating aerator. So they got that all back into operation. Great job by them. Water Department, all is running smooth right now. Keith and crew will drain and clean the basins later this month. I did have a couple reports of a water issue, and I reached out to Keith, and he checked out the system, and nothing, all the water tested fine. We are unsure what that would have caused that. Probably dead end lines causing that issue, but everything is good. Maintenance department, they were down multiple times during the last 2 weeks helping the sewer lay pipe and install the floating aerator into the small tank. Into my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Dogger. Commissioner Zimmerman.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a reminder that large trash pickup will be on April the 3rd. It will continue through that week as they go along and pick everything up at all things that you want disposed of. Your large trash items need to be placed out on the curb or by the curb by April 3rd. The citywide yard sales will be that weekend before, which will be March 31st and April 1st. So keep that in mind. Our guns and hoses for the fire department and the police department will be the 20th annual, and that will be held this Sunday on March the 12th. And the first game starts at 1, and I believe there are 5 games that day, 4 to 5 games. It's $5 for everyone to attend, even players, because it is a fundraiser, and the money will be going towards the Santa House. Also with the fire department, the winds did some damage to the fire department. There's some shingles and some fascia that was damaged, and so we'll be looking at getting those things fixed and replaced and repaired. And they also had 9 different calls out that varied. They assisted with the police department on one of them, and they've helped EMS. So They've been busy doing that, and then they're training over the last couple of weeks. They did, looking at the way different fires occur in different types of buildings with different roofs, and identifying those different roofs that we have here in town and know how to approach those into my report.
Sounds like great training.
Mhm.
Thank you, Commissioner Zimmerman. Mr. Turner.
All right, real quick, Donnie Banks is here with WEMA, and we put on the consent agenda about donating a used squad car to WEMA. They do help us out a lot. Chief McWilliams no longer needs a Ford Explorer that used to be a K-9 unit. So if there's no questions onto that, and it passes a consent, we'll be giving the keys to WEMA after this meeting. And then you see Resolution 695, quick rundown, that's a summer maintenance program. Looks like this year we've allocated about $515,000 towards that program. And I think Mr. Dallas is here, he can give us a little more detail on what we're looking at. And he'll turn it over to him here in a minute. And then up at City Hall, we've been working on the new payroll system. We're hoping to have that rolled out by the end of April. So that's all for my report. Mr. Dallas, do you have anything reference the resolution 695?
How much? 6 million, you say?
Yeah, something like that. That or 514,834.
No, this includes, you know, electric costs for everything from electric costs to the street lights, or not street lights, but signal lights, and maintenance of those, as well as your normal chip seal program that we do every year. It also includes this year some sidewalk replacement, some concrete for sidewalk replacement. I think that's intended for on Division Street down there where we did all the repair. Some of the chip seal work will include, like Mike was saying earlier this afternoon, a double layer of chip seal on that Division Street. We're gonna let it try to settle one more year and have a little bit more traffic on it to make sure when we put something permanent that it won't displace and become uneven. It also includes enough chip seal for 2 or 3 of the alleys, or maybe 4 or 5 alleys, 4 or 5 blocks of alleys at least, that they've been grinding up and reshaping and whatever to bring those back up to, nothing had been done to them for years, and again, they got all out of shape and were standing there holding water and such, so. It also includes some funding for resurfacing. The intended resurfacing is, I think, on 4th Street on the parking areas in front of the police station and up by the courthouse, and then on Market Street from 9th up to 13th Street. We've got some storm sewer replacement repair work up here on 7th Street from the new intersection that they finished up with all the brick work on Cherry Street. In doing that work, we realized that storm sewer was totally filled up, and there's not hardly any way to do it except dig it out and put it back in kind with a new pipe. There's some alley repairs. What else, Michael? Am I forgetting?
Your salt, we've got the salt for the year in there. It's also the payment for the street sweeper. So this encompasses a lot of different things in there.
Sounds good. All right. Anything else, Mr. Turner?
Nope.
All right, before we move on, 2 weeks ago, we asked for bids for the demolition of 211 Hines Street. I'll go ahead and open them up. First one's from Swanson Excavating. His bid was $8,500 for the demolition of house and removal, dig concrete from basement and footings and remove, fill area with dirt and level, seed and straw. The next one was from Jeff Guys White Incorporated. Okay. Scope of work, demo two-story house hall to approved landfill, to remove basement walls and foundation. Site will be filled with dirt, leveled, seeded, and strawed. Bid includes prevailing wages for a bid amount of $7,740. Both of the bids, as far as the scope of work, were identical to what Mr. Turner had advertised, correct?
Correct.
So if there are no objections, I'll ask for a motion to approve the bid quote for $7,740 from Jeff Guys White Incorporated.
I can make that.
Do I have a second?
I will second.
Roll call, Mr. Turner.
Commissioner Meeks,
Yes, I vote for that.
Commissioner Eichmeyer.
Yes.
Commissioner Dolger,
Yes.
Commissioner Zimmerman,
Yes.
Moving along, Mr. McCullough.
I have no report, Mayor.
Man, but you've been so busy here lately for us. You know, I'll bring one thing to light. We get a lot of complaints, I believe, about dogs and things like that, and is that one of the cases you just took?
Yes, I mean, we did, and it was not the first offense, so that's one thing I handled. And we've also been working quite a bit with Mike, determining these houses that are dilapidated and trying to move forward with remediation of some of those. So that's kind of what I've been doing, I guess, behind the scenes, so to speak.
Yeah.
So.
I think that dog case, we actually, there was a fine assessed, correct?
Yes, no, that is correct, and that was, dog ring at large, it was, the fines range anywhere between $75 to $200, and in that particular case, it was a fine of $200. Plus, there's assessments that the state of Illinois assesses, so in total, the fine was about $400, I think $395 total, so, but was not the first offense.
Right. And I bring this up is we get complaints that the city and the police never do anything with dogs at large and things like that. And we do. Usually it's, taken care of prior to going to this point, but anyway, just wanted to bring that up. All right. Thank you, Mr. McCullough. Mr. Pennington is not here. Chief McWilliams.
Well, I have a few things for you all, since I know you like reports from me. So first off, Ashton Walker is patrolling solo now. He's working night shift, so he's completed his field training, so he's on the road. Second, we've been very busy in the sense of drugs and guns. As many of you probably read on Facebook and other avenues, that we had the SWAT team come in from the state police a couple weeks ago. That was part of a multi-agency search warrant / arrest warrant for meth delivery, as well as firearms that had come out of that home. So this wasn't just some poor guy that had sold drugs. This was much more. We took this a little more seriously because guns were coming out of there. So just want to throw that out there, that we will take advantage of all assets that we have to make sure everyone's safe. Second, in February, we took 10 guns off the street in Mount Carmel, off people that are felons. 10 guns, and that's, I think Ryan will attest, that's a lot of guns for 1 month. One of them was, one individual had 5 guns. He was a convicted felon, and we were investigating a domestic dispute. One of them was purchased, it was stolen, so we were able to recover it. So a lot of positive things in the sense of getting the streets cleaned up have been going on. And then the last thing, a few months ago, David James with the Mount Carmel Public Utility came to the city and asked if dispatch would be willing to take over emergency or after hours gas leak calls, mainly so they can get a quicker response time. The unit they were using, I think that he felt like the return, by the time they got the call and they could respond to it, wasn't as quick as they liked. considering the dangerousness of gas. So we was able to come to terms, and the Mount Carmel dispatch will be taking over the after-hours calls. That way they can respond more quickly, plus we'll be able to provide them time checks on their employees. And it's going to be a great partnership. That way we can lessen the chance of any type of gas explosions or et cetera. David, I don't know if you have anything you want to add to that, but I think that'll be happening fairly soon.
Yeah, we really appreciate the city taking a look at that and willing to partner with us on that. I think that's going to provide even better reliability to our service and safety to our customers in this town. We will begin training as soon as we can get some scheduling with Mike's people, and we'll get started on that right away. And again, we appreciate the partnership.
Okay. That is the end of my report, I think.
All right, thank you, Chief McWilliams. Chief Smith,
No report, Mayor.
you look sleepy. You look sleepy.
No, I'm fine.
All right,
I'm just relaxing.
yeah,
It's been a busy day.
yeah. Mr. Gidkin.
All right, I've got a couple of different things. We'll start out with 3rd Street. We had a leak in one of these sewer mains that caused a sinkhole down around Vine Street. This is not connected to what we did on Division Street. It's a lateral that comes back from there. Once we got dug down to repair that sinkhole, we found another issue using the camera system that we purchased this past year. Instead of having to rip everything up to pinpoint down where that was, we could use the camera system and got it located. So we were hoping that if it was just in the one location that we would be up and running after tomorrow, but we found another location. So Thursday, we would hope, but it may not be opened up until Friday morning. I'll try to keep the radio and updated on our progress on that one. The other issue I have, or the other thing I've got to bring up, is I've completed addressing for the river camps from behind the seawall onto hydraulic all the way to Twin Rivers. If you are on city property between Twin Rivers and Golden Aces Way, you need to come to 602 East 5th Street starting next week and pick up a packet. It's an application to lease that property that you were on. We don't have any information on some of those properties that are down there other than we know we own them, not who's on them. They need to come and get that. That packet will include information on the cost, which is $100 per lot. And it's also, you have to have proof of insurance. And those need to be turned in back to us by April the 28th. All right. You can also call Dave Easter at 618-263-1130. That's the Public Works Building, with any questions or concerns on those campsites. If you have previously had a lease with the city for the camps behind the seawall, the same goes. You'll need to come to the 602, pick up your application for 2023, and there again, it's $100 for 2023. End of my report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Goodkin. Consent agenda. Do we want to pull out the squad car, or is everybody fine with leaving it in consent?
Good with leaving it.
All right, do I have a motion to approve consent agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Turner.
Commissioner Meeks,
Yes.
Commissioner Reitmeyer,
Yes.
Commissioner Dolder,
Yes.
Commissioner Zimmerman.
Yes.
All right, so moved. Don't have executive session. Does anybody else have anything else we need to discuss this evening? All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign.
I'll get with you guys when it's
We'll
addressed.
see Justin.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Information Dave gave you.
Yes, it helped a lot.
Great.
It helped a lot. So I'll get with you today. I'll probably just send that I made, I couldn't use yours.
Vacation again?
But I'll send between Twin Rivers and Gold Coast. It's just, that's why I brought it up, get them in here, sign them.
It's better than what it looked like.
Get a look at it. I think it'd be my turn.
Because they didn't cut loose from the tablecloth.
Just make sure everyone's in there.
I did the hard part, I got the address down.
Well, we have.
6, 7 guys.